What's going on, guys? Today we are updating the wide receiver tier list. If things do sound a little weird in here, I'm still trying to figure out all the audio and stuff, so yeah, bear with me. But we are updating the wide receiver tier list, and of course, if you are new to the channel and part of the 67% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down there, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. But without further ado, let's get into the wide receiver tier list. The first cards I want to put on here are the Theme Team All-Star cards. As you know, these cards are all pretty similar. Only difference is really like their builds and maybe a little bit of speed. So you definitely need to consider the speed. And I do rank these cards based on if they were not on a theme team. And the only way to boost a guy like Dotson's speed is by putting him on a theme team. Even T. Higgins is by putting him on a theme team. As you can see right here, you know, 97 speed isn't. I mean, it's still good. He's still 6'4", still moves pretty well. Good juke move, good COD. Still is gonna get, of course, all the special X factors, whatever you want to do, as well as, you know, the abilities down here too. But all the cards get special X factors and 2 0 AP ability buckets, which is actually very, very good. And of course, you can pay for one if you want to. But these cards are very similar. So to me, it does come down to build. So like a guy like T. Higgins to me, and speed as well. So a guy like T. Higgins to me, he's probably right above Jahan Dotson. I would probably move Dotson down maybe a little bit. But really, I mean, these are 297 speed guys that get 2 0 AP ability buckets, as well as the special X factors that are on for 66% of the time. So there's still value in the X factors. And again, I should say this for all the tier lists to end this year, but you could use every single one of these cards theoretically. Even not on a theme team, all these guys can still play and be very good. But obviously, at the end of the year, we do have to split hairs a little bit, and the the tier lists do get pretty honestly debatable. Like you could debate a lot of different things, especially like I'm not a big fan of my top 5 today. I'm just not confident in my top 5 because I think you could really argue like 10 or 15 guys for the top 5 right now at wide receiver. It is so deep, and these Theme Team All-Star cards are definitely examples. So let's talk about the next one here. The next one, of course, we're only going to talk about the these 92s. I also, of course, there's DJ Moore, Devonta Smith, 2 very similar cards here. The only difference is 98 speed, but in my opinion, DJ Moore just moves better in game. I just enjoy his cards a little bit more, so that's kind of the deciding factor for me over these 2 guys. But either way, they're both going to be, low S tier guys, and they're very interchangeable depending on preference. I like DJ Moore a lot, just how he moves in game. He just moves perfect to me. So DJ Moore would be there, and of course he has the special X factors, the 2 0 AP ability buckets, all that good stuff. I do like Mike Williams as well. Mike Williams to me is just a better version of the T. Higgins card, as he gets 98 speed. This card moves well, gets the good juke animation, has the charging X factors, 2 0 AP abilities, all that good stuff on Mike Williams. And again, he's 6'4", 220, so that's also a good thing. Mike Williams is I would say he's a fringe top 5 guy, and him and Calvin are like, they're a couple spaces away from each other on the tier list, but you could debate a guy like Mike Williams in the top 5. You could debate a guy like DJ Moore in the top 5 or Devonta Smith into the top 5. Like you easily could. Even Darius Hayward-Bay or Carmichael even finds a way in there. And I do want to talk about bigger receivers in this game and the power of avoiding knockouts as a wide receiver. We're going to talk about that kind of later in the video here. But what we have one more. Oh yeah, my favorite one, of course. This is my favorite Theme Team All-Star card for that kind of reason. Being able to being the perfect size to avoid KOs and possession catch still. Romeo Doubs, man, this card is serious. Okay, 99 speed, 99 acceleration, so no matter what team you put him on, he's a plug and play at 6'2", moves great after the catch, great route running stats. Release could be a little bit better, I won't lie, but again, has the special X factors and then has the evasive 0 AP, which is the big deal there, or route tech as an option too. So really good setups for Romeo Doubs, Romeo Dubes, whatever you want to call him. So I think he's not my favorite one. I would put him behind Calvin. I think the main reason why I'm leaving Calvin ahead is, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's the name. Like, something about me putting Romeo in front of Calvin just feels wrong. So I'm gonna leave it like that, I guess, for now. But honestly, yeah, both cards are great, obviously, of course. I just watched back that last clip I did with the Theme Team All-Star receivers, and man, I'm not used to, like, my camera's in like a different spot, like my monitor's up on this like heater or something, bro. Like it's not, we didn't move in like a glove over here. Things are a little bit still not great, but Larry Fitzgerald, okay, Larry Fitzgerald golden ticket. Of course he already has this card. Where is he? This card right here, and this one is like a little bit better just because of the stats or whatever. And like, he's a golden ticket, so it feels weird putting him like kind of low, but still the draft card didn't get special X factors. This one just gets more abilities. Like Deep Elite isn't bad. I feel like Joystick, Acrobat, Runoff, Slide-O-Matic. Like there's some questionable choices here on this golden ticket. Not even boosting really the run blocking either. This card is not worth at all what he's going for. Like he's probably like a 400k card. So as far as Larry Fitzgerald goes, I think he definitely ends up low A tier ish. I would probably go him over Amon-Ra just because of the abilities, and he's still a good build, and he doesn't get no jukebox. This is where it gets a little dicey when you kind of start talking about these guys, because as a plug and play guy, he's technically better, but no discount in jukebox. You don't get the same flexibility. I would actually probably put these two guys over him as they actually get more flexibility. I might even go Hester. I might even do that. Yeah, I don't hate that either. Because, like, really, if you're using your token on Hester, great. But there's really, like, you shouldn't use your token on Hester, so he moves down a pretty good amount for that reason. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm going to leave Larry there. He might be too high, or maybe he's too low, depending on how you look at it. Tell me what you guys think about Larry Fitzgerald Golden Ticket. I personally am not a fan of his card or his build, and that kind of might be a reason why he ends up where he ends up. Okay, next up we have a very heavily debated card here in Ed Too Tall Jones. So here's the thing with Ed Too Tall. I feel like he's just too big. And I have this problem with Carmichael as well. And it wasn't as big of a problem when Carmichael first came out, but now it is, as we have the X factors all over the field. The KOs is the meta on defense. So obviously what you want to try to do is counter that. And the best way to actually counter this is by using this X factor right here, max security. However, on a lot of these guys, it's not on for the whole game. It's on for 66% of the game, but max security does counter KOs when you possession catch. You have to remember to do that. So if you want to use Ed Too Tall, there is a counter, and if you can counter that, the card is great as a run blocker. He's insane for a receiver, and then ball carrier wise, the only problem here is that he can't juke as well. So there's kind of two things against Ed Too Tall. I feel like he's too tall, literally, for this game, and he can't juke. Even though he gets jukebox, you see it down here, he can't juke because he gets the bad juke animation based off his height and his weight. So to me, the perfect height for a wide receiver, the max I would go is like 6'5", 6'4", like 6'2", 6'1", 6 foot. That's like my ideal range. That kind of 5-inch range, no pause, is kind of the perfect for a receiver in my opinion. You pair it with the jukebox. That's why I like a guy like the next receiver we're going to talk about here today. But Ed Too Tall, to me, is just too tall. He doesn't move like he should. The juke move this year is just too good to not use it on your players. So Ed Too Tall Jones, I still think he's going to end up in my top 5. He probably will still have been in my top 5 just because of his build, and there is ways to counter his big body and the big KOs, and that's max security. And it doesn't even take that much away from him, right? Like, you run the max security and you still get red zone threat. You still get jukebox, which I would probably go tank instead of jukebox, honestly, as it doesn't really do much. You still get route tech, so it doesn't really kill the card because you have to run max security, and it's on for 66% of the game. So a good portion of the time you are countering that, and if you know how to swerve and avoid KOs, Ed Too Tall is obviously very effective with the combination of a high ball, gift wrapped, and max security would go crazy on it. This card right here is also one that is, is he worth it? You got to win 80 house rules games in order to get Odell Beckham Jr., which is, that's kind of a lot, but he does get all 32 team chems in every single pass promo theme team. Basically like golden ticket stats besides the run blocking, but after the catch, he's like the perfect height to juke. 5'11" again, like 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1". Those cards move great. Is he a guy that you can ag with? But you really can't, no, because you can't really ag in this game. Agging's not a thing anymore in this game because of the amount of KOs you see. It's just not a real thing that can happen consistently that people rely on. So to me, again, it's avoiding KOs, catching the ball in the flat, making a guy miss or two. That's kind of what a receiver is in this year's game. And yes, again, there is value in tall receivers if you know how to swerve catch underneath cover 3, cover 2. There's ways to be good with it. It's a little bit harder though, I will say that. I will say it's harder to be good with a tall receiver this year, but if you are good with a tall receiver this year, they're obviously very good, you know what I mean? But Odell Beckham Jr., perfect card. I don't really see any issue with him besides his ability buckets. These two ability buckets, in my opinion, could be a little bit better. He does get, but the thing is, what would you have put in there? I don't even know what his ACL. I take that personally, bro. Okay. I don't know what else I would have liked in this last player specific slot, but route tech's good. He already gets pre-baked evasive. He's going to have the charge X factors. Maybe like runoffs are cool. I don't even know what I would have wanted here. I don't even know, but it feels like it's missing. I feel like I don't like that. Is that worth it? I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? But still, Odell Beckham, top 6 receiver in the game right now. And I do think there's going to be some comments about Romeo potentially being over Odell. And that's oh man, like see that's the principle thing where it's like, damn, can I really do that? Because like Romeo gets, I guess Odell, but like 6'2" and 5'11". It's like you gotta split hairs when we get to the top here. And you know what might actually make me switch up my opinion here? Because again, I usually do these the night before. I have time to think on them. And what might change my opinion and actually might maybe move Romeo down to here is the fact that Odell gets pre-baked evasive. And you still get route tech, you still have the X factors. It's a 3-inch difference, but again, like I just said, the reasons I just used, like the tall receivers, like 3-inch difference this year, it isn't what it normally is in my opinion. So I'm gonna make that switch right there. I'm not against it either. Next up, we have golden ticket Vincent Jackson. Okay, so Vincent Jackson, 99 speed, and he's actually has golden ticket like stats. As you can see with the run blocking. Run blocking's great. Ball carrier, he's great. He's 230, 6'5", so he has the good juke animation. He's tall enough. Again, the KOs could be a problem. You know what I mean? But, you know, yak him up's great, but also max security is good too. So max security, like I've been saying, is a good one. However, the one reason why I would knock Vincent Jackson is the lack of a discounted jukebox. And he does get it up here for 2 AP. So you could run his setup for like 2 AP, or if you run a yak him up, that's always an option. But tank, route tech, I feel like tank, route tech with an X factor is good enough. He still does get the good juke animation, but obviously jukebox will take that to the next level as it does for every position. So Vincent Jackson is obviously very good. Just where he ends up, man. Like again, like I just don't love. I think he was over Calvin Johnson, but I just don't love my list today. I'm just not confident in it. I feel like there's so many different wide receiver opinions on how you would want to use a guy, how people would use him, how you prefer to use them, how I prefer to use my receivers. It's just, again, you can use any guy in S tier, A tier, B tier and be effective with them. Like you really could. I mean, yes, there are better options. I feel like you kind of got to have either a crazy build like Carmichael does, or have special X factors like T. Higgins and Jahan Dotson do. That helps, obviously, but there are so many good wideouts in this game, man. And like me making a top 5, I already know there's going to be comments on this video, on any TikTok or short I make. But, you know, it is what it is. Should I do top 10? Maybe I got to do top 10. Maybe I got to do top 10. I don't know. But we have one more card remaining, and he 100% is. I'm confident in this one. He's the best wide receiver in the game. And our number 1 wide receiver here in Madden 24 right now, as of May 20th, is Herman Moore. There might be some people that are like, Herman Moore, really? And yeah, I think he is the best wide receiver in the game, as he does counter the most effective. He's 100% counter to the most effective strategy on defense, and that's zone KOs or KOs in general. That's the most broken thing on defense. That's the most frustrating thing on defense. So being able to counter that 100% of the time, you know, up to a certain point, stats mean only so much. It comes down to abilities and X factors. And to me, Herman having the 100% counter rate is that there's so much value there. And I might even go pick up that card right there for 500K or 600K, wherever he's at. It's a good buy, okay? And also his ability stacks are just really good too. So you have max security as an ability, so it means it's on 100% of the time. You even have flexibility for those who don't have a hot route master QB. Wide receiver apprentice is there for you, but jukebox, route technician, or jukebox runoff, or jukebox apprentice, it's up to you. So you have 100% counter. You're good after the catch. You're still 6'4", 210 pounds. You can hold your own out there. You're a pretty good run blocker as well. To me, the 100% counter with these stats and the run blocking does put Herman Moore at our number 1 wide receiver today. And yeah, again, drop a comment down below. What do you guys think about this list today? I'm not gonna lie. Normally, I have like 100% confidence in my tier list. Today, I'm at like 90. Okay, I'm at like 90, especially near the top. Down lower, we're good, but you can mix and match so many of these guys. For you, Ed Too Tall might be your number 1 because you're good with tall receivers. Maybe people like Mike Williams like that. Maybe people are still relying on Jerry. You know, maybe people still think Carmichael's top 5. Or you're like me, and maybe deep down inside of me, I still think Darius Hayward-Bay's top 5. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's you. So drop a comment down below. What do you guys think? Of course, if you did make it to the end of the video, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications. And as always, I will see you boys in the next one.